Welcome back to Simple Truth, where we make some simple truths out of the truth. Just trying to point some things out of the story of David, right, that are applicable for you and I to chew on, right? Like, do we understand that David is very similar to us in nature, right? Hopefully, by the end of it, God will look at us and say, "Hey, he or she, they're people after my own heart." When we look at chapter 24, and we're in verse 4, right? And we look at this story. Saul has taken 3,000 men, and he's chasing after David, right? And David's hiding in a cave. That's where we pick it up. So in verse 4, and the men of David said to him, Here is the day of which the Lord said to you, Behold, I will give your enemy into your hand, and you shall do to him all that seems good to you. And David arose stealthily, cut off a corner of Saul's robe. You understand, there's two parts here. These men know what David was promised, right? That happens all the time. And so they're looking at this story, they're looking at this unfold, and they're going, yep, here's the day. Here's the day where you get to be king. They're all waiting for David to be king, right? Their lives are going to change crazily if David becomes king in this moment, right? They're going to go from running away, right, having very little, to all of a sudden being rewarded and having more and being servants of the king. Not servants of a criminal that is running away, right, that the king's chasing, but servants of the king. Right? There's some great stuff in that whole imagery. Right? That you're 1 second away, maybe from feeling like a criminal and that to being a servant of the King of Kings. Or you're 1 moment away from getting your promise. I talk about this with people on a regular basis, right? You want to reach out and take your promise, or do you want to wait for God to give it to you? And most of us like the combo of that, right? I want my burger and fries. I want the combo of this whole thing, which is this. Hey, God's going to give me the opportunity, and I got to reach out and take it, right? So God sets up the opportunity, and I have to make it happen. There's not a lot of evidence, right, of that wholeheartedly in the Bible, right? You can look at that, right? Moses was given an opportunity, but God didn't say just go do it how you want to do it. Moses had to do it the way that God wanted him to do it. Joshua had to be obedient, right? Be bold and courageous, go forward, but you got to do it the way that I say to do it. Right? So that's one of the fallacies that's out there. You and I think that God sets up the opportunity and then we can do it however we want to do it. We work for God. It's not how it works, because God is working all things out for his good to those who are called by his name, right? So we look at this thing and say, like, your path isn't just about you, it's about everybody else. So you need to be obedient, do it the way that God says, because it's going to affect other people and their part in this whole thing. But David sees an opportunity, his men see this opportunity, and they just immediately go, do it, David. Right? Nathan, the prophet, the priest, came into the same idea, right? Where David says, hey, I want to build a temple, and Nathan's like, yeah, go do it. Do whatever you want to do, because God's with you. You got this. Right? We got to be really careful. Be super careful. It is possible that people with good hearts, good intentions, all the right things, that they look at a moment and they go, hey, this is the moment that God has been telling you about. Go take this moment. Take this moment. And God says, no, this actually is a moment to test you, to see what kind of king you're going to be, what kind of person you're going to be. Right? Be careful when everybody is saying, this is the moment, that you're not being raised up by people. Because Jesus faced this. He knew that people wanted to make him king. He was already king. He already knew that was the promise. The promise from God is, I'm going to make you king of kings, to Jesus. Now you have a choice. You can go take that, make that happen. Let people make that happen for you. Or you can let God make you king of kings. And in this moment, David's men, in right fashion, right? There's no maliciousness here. Or they want what's coming to David. They want what's best, what they think is best. They're like, man, this is a God moment. Go take it. So my challenge to you as you're chewing on things is, are people declaring maybe even yourself, are you declaring a God moment in something that's not a God moment? Man, I have promises that I'm waiting for, right? That I want more than anything in the world. Every day, it is a challenge to not reach out and make it a God moment. Like, I can make it happen. I can make this happen and then just declare it's a God thing. God said it's going to happen, so it's a God thing. I can just do it however I want to do it. No, God moments come in the right moments where God will lift you up. Be very careful that you're not taking a God promise and letting men lift you to the God promise. Man, it looks good, and we love that. But there's a lot of pastors who are doing ministry, a lot of people who are doing things that God promised they would be doing, but they've done it their way. So, lots for you to chew on right there. We'll come back next time, see how this whole story plays out. Did David take his men's advice? Does he make it a God moment? Or is it just simply a test that says, hey, are you willing to be patient and wait on the Lord? See you next time right here on Simple Truth.